Hey, what's up guys, it's Shining Polaris. I know, a little bit late video. That's because, like I said, with me working on Wednesdays, it's going to be very hard to either get a video out or an article out, but at least it's out here. As you guys know, I just recently went to Slammiversary and I promised to get a video out there just of my experience because it was just so much fun. But anyway, we are here talking about AEW's Fyter Fest Part 2. And this month of July episodes have been fantastic, and which they need because June really sucked, but July has just been back-to-back just crazy surprises. So I'm just gonna summarize the whole episode. Cannot wait till next week, which will be Fight for the Fallen. So this episode, first up, we had Jericho versus Shawn Spears. And this is his first labor to, he has to go through 5 labors before facing MJF. So this one, he's against Shawn Spears, where Shawn Spears can use a chair and Jericho can't. So, match was pretty good. Like I said, it's opening match. It never failed to impress us with these very high-paced matches. You have Shawn Spears, of course, doing everything he can to try to beat Jericho with a chair. But at the end of the day, you had, Shawn had set up chairs like by the turnbuckles. And he was trying to hit Jericho with his C4, and Jericho countered that, threw Shawn right into the chairs. He was set it up in the corner, and then as Shawn Spears staggered back, Jericho hit him with the Judas effect, and then beat Spears. So right after that, you had MJF on commentary. He runs down, and he announced his second labor to Jericho, which was, like I said, this is the first 20 minutes of the show, and this was already huge. MJF said that the next match will be a no DQ, but he is going to face someone that is known for these hardcore matches. And who did he announce? He announced Nick fucking Gage. Oh my god, it was crazy. Like, I was watching it at work, and I just was like, what is going on? So that was crazy. Nick Gage comes out. He has his own entrance and theme, which you can see on YouTube. I thought that was like really cool. And yeah, everyone just popped. It was pretty sweet to see Nick Gage on there. So I cannot wait for next week's episode. Yeah, I mean, man, if this is only his second labor, what's going to be the next 3? You gotta like top that, man. So I'm really excited because, of course, Jericho's going to beat Gage, but just to see like what's going to be next, that's going to be exciting. So the next match was one of the matches I was looking for because I'm biased. This was Kazarian versus Gallows, and yeah, so. You had, of course you have Kaz, who is the lead hunter. He's going through everyone in the lead just to kick their ass. And so with this match, I was like 100% very certain that the Good Brothers were going to lose, because usually, like I said, like if you see matches if there's like a usual tag team and they go singles, they're the ones that's usually going to lose. Especially with Kazarian, who has a very strong singles run, I was like, yeah, Kaz is going to win, but at least it showcased Gallows as a singles wrestler. So you have Carl Anderson on the side. He's trying to, there's a lot of shenanigans there, trying to distract and hit Kazarian whatever he can. So at the end of the match, you had, I think Kaz was trying to like charge at Gallows or whatever, but Anderson holds him, so he's like stuck on the ropes. And the ref is obviously distracted. Gallows hit Kaz with a big boot, and then he basically sits Kaz out. So Gallows won that match, so that was very surprising. So after that, Kenny Omega, Don Callis, comes out and basically saying to Kaz, like, this is, this is what happens when you try to come after the elite. Kenny Omega is now basically calling out Adam Page. So then Adam Page comes out, huge pops for him. Of course, he's like the biggest star at AEW. So and we were building up to that world title match. But anyway, so Adam Page comes out, then you have Don Callis basically jaw-jacking, trying to get under the skin of Adam Page. And Don's like, what are you going to do? You're going to try to beat all of us up? There's 4 of us here. Well, Adam does. So he goes after the Good Brothers, but in no time, he was getting beaten down. That obviously gets the Dark Order in there. Kenny Omega and Don Callis runs out. Good Brothers still in the ring. And then Adam Page goes and hits his buckshot lariat onto Carl Anderson, and then you have Kenny Omega and Don on the ramp. Kenny's like trying to, you know, run after Adam, but Don holds him back. So anyhow, so that basically is going to set up for next week's big tag team match, the Elite versus the Dark Order. And I am very excited for that, but I'm also curious if Kenny is actually going to be in that match, because in my opinion, Kenny and Adam should not touch at all until All Out when they go for that title match. So I think it's going to be probably the Young Bucks and Good Brothers, and either Nakazawa or Cutler in the place, because of course you know that the Elite's going to lose this match, so they need to have one of their jobbers, their stooges, to take the pin. So very sure that's what's going to happen, and it'll fit because Kenny Omega is somewhat a cowardly heel, so that makes sense. So can't wait for that match. Let's see. Next you have just a very short segment. This is just addressing Team Taz with Ricky Stark's win. So Ricky Stark saying that next week they're going to have a celebration for him for winning the FTW Championship. Then you have Brian Cage was like, interesting. They like to party. Well, you know, or they like surprises or partying, whatever. And Cage is like, I like those too, so we'll see. So, very sure shenanigans ensue between Team Taz and Brian Cage. Then the next match, which was like one of the last matches to be announced, this was Wheeler Yuta versus Darby Allin. A lot of people were complaining about this for two reasons. Number one, everyone says that Darby Allin should have taken a break after his big match with Ethan Page, because Darby, like, in my opinion, and a lot of people too, he took some mean bumps, but you know, I'm sure Darby, like, he's used to that, so I'm sure he's fine. Also, people that aren't a big fan of Yuta, it's like, why is this guy being pushed to the moon? Well, Yuta is very talented, and it is very cool that he's getting this this big push. So all for that, all for trying to make new stars. You know what I'm saying? And so you have Wheeler Yuta with Orange Cassidy in his corner, and a lot of people did not know why. Why is Orange Cassidy with Yuta? Well, according to the commentary team, Cassidy and Chuck Taylor have been training Yuta, so that's cool. So match happened. Obviously, both of these guys are, you know, very athletic and fast-paced wrestlers, so the match was good. At the end, Darby obviously won. Then you had Orange Cassidy there, you know, with Yuta and all. Blade comes in and attacks Cassidy from behind, so that's going to set up for their match later. And then the next you have for the women's world title match, this was Britt Baker versus Nyla Rose. Personally, like, I didn't really watch this match too well because I really did not like this first feud for Britt, and I posted my opinions about that online. Everyone's saying, you know, she just became champion, so don't put her in a high-profile feud. I personally am tired of seeing Nyla Rose in every single, like, she's always #1 contender, and she's always after the title. Like they have so many great women wrestlers now. Like, AEW has been criticized huge for not pushing their women, and then they got it. They literally just, like, almost there have got it with all these talented women. And then once Britt Baker became champion, we went right back to pushing Nyla Rose again. So the only thing I can say is maybe because that was during June, and June had really you know, low views. Now that we have this out of the way, please, let's put Britt Baker versus somebody else. I would love to see her against Ty Conti, for example. Obviously, Thunder Rosa again. We could revisit that, even with, like, Jade or whatever. There's just so many great choices. It's just like, yes, please, just improve this immediately. But anyhow, this match you had at the end. Let's see, what is it? Nyla Rose. She was trying to do something to Britt. I can't remember it right now. But anyway, Britt Baker immediately countered that and put Nyla Rose in her lockjaw submission, and Nyla Rose she tapped out, and Britt Baker retained. So we knew that was going to happen. So like I said, all I hope is whoever she's facing next is going to be built better. Let's see. Then you had really powerful segment, in my opinion. This is FTR and Santana Ortiz. They were kind of like in a press conference thingy, And so they're going to have their big match, which I think this is going to be really good. So for Fight for the Fallen, you're going to have Santana Ortiz with Conan versus FTR and with Tully Blanchard. So, you know, you got FTR trying to be like a really, you know, very cocky, cool team, but then you have Santana Ortiz that man, they hit hard. They were being really real about their, you know, childhood and their situation. So if you hadn't seen this segment, this is really good and basically built up for the next match, their match next week, like big time. So cannot wait to see that. My predictions for that is, of course, like we're really pushing Santana Ortiz, which they totally deserve because they're like the tag team that are so talented, and yet I don't think they've ever been in a world title picture at all. You have FTR, who's basically booked to look as good as the Young Bucks, so they're like almost untouchable as well. But since they are in North Carolina next week, I predict that FTR is going to win that, even though it should be Santana Ortiz. But with that being said, I think Santana Ortiz is, number one, going to face the Young Bucks, possibly win it at New York. That's my prediction. And of course, I don't think this feud is going to end. So FTR wins it next week. Santana Ortiz, they're going to chase after them. They're going to win the big one later. So we got that. The next segment, and yeah, I was really excited for this because I like Andrade. This was Andrade's little announcement. And yes, there's been some criticism already about how his debut hadn't been too great. And I mean, I agree with that too, with him coming out with Vicky Guerrero with that really confusing entrance. And then his first match with Sydal, though it was good, I could see why people didn't like that match too much. But so everyone right now thinks that his debut hadn't been too great. But like I said, just you wait, because I'm very sure AEW have huge, huge plans with Andrade. And then recently on social media, him and Kenny Omega calling each other out, further promoting that AAA match that they're going to have next month. So Andrade comes out, and he, with his stooge with him, basically said to Tony Schiavone to have a big announcement. And Schiavone announced that Andrade's new manager, it will be Chavo Guerrero Jr., which is very cool because a lot of people, including myself, didn't really like him being with Vicky. But that does not mean, I don't think at all, that does not mean he won't be working with Vicky. I think he's going to have both of them. So he'll have Vicky and Chavo on his side, which is great. Right after they made that announcement, you know, as he was calling out Death Triangle, all of Death Triangle came out, including Pac. And they started jaw-jacking with each other, but you have Andrade trying to ask the Lucha Brothers to join him, and of course Pac is like, "Are you kidding me? Like we're all like family here." So my quick opinions on that. Though I like this triangle a lot, I really like Pac by himself. So I think Pac should have been a single, just to stay as singles. And Lucha Brothers just stay as a tag team, or they can join a faction. But more importantly, I think Pac should be by himself because he's so the lone wolf type. Like, you know, so I'm not sure. Like, is this like they're obviously gonna feud right now with the Death Triangle and Andrade? But I wonder if down the line, if either they're gonna break up, either Lucha Bro will join Andrade, or that they will just split ways. I don't know, but just saying my opinion, I think Pac should be by himself. So cannot wait to see that, because you know that you know, Andrade versus any of the Death Triangle is going to be fire. So all right, and then the next we have Orange Cassidy versus the Blade. This is another match I didn't watch too well, only because the way it was timed during my work. Because I have to actually work during work. So, but I did catch the end. Yeah, you have Orange Cassidy. Well, first you obviously get tons of shenanigans, because you have the Bunny on the outside, and then plus Bunny and Blade, no stranger to cheating. So there was a lot of shenanigans. But at the end, you have Orange Cassidy win, of course. And after he won, Orange Cassidy got that their brass knuckles that Bunny and Blade are known for using, and he puts it on his hand, and he does the orange punch right onto Blade, knocks him straight out. Then Orange grabs the with knuckles and puts it in his pocket. So there you go. Yeah, not really too many opinions on that. But about Orange Cassidy, I thought after Double or Nothing that that they were going to build him up with, because he'd been having a lot of random single matches on Dark and stuff, and I thought we were just going to keep putting him up to the rankings and possibly have Orange Cassidy versus Kenny Omega, you know, in the future. I have a feeling that's not happening anymore, so I'm not sure what happened, because did Orange Cassidy not call out Kenny Omega right after Double or Nothing saying this isn't over or something like that? So I'm not sure what happened, because the rankings came out and Orange Cassidy is all the way on number 5, which means very soon he's going to be kicked out of the rankings. And so I don't know what happened to Orange Cassidy versus Kenny Omega. That's probably because of the other huge announcements that we make, which I will announce, which I will say at the end of this video. All right, so main event, and this was a very, very good one. This was Jon Moxley versus Lance Archer for the IWGP USA Championship. And again, one of my favorite belts, so we're just gonna show right here. So before the show, you know, everybody's saying there's no way Jon Moxley's gonna lose. Even I thought that, because I'm like, you know, New Japan loves Jon Moxley. Moxley is too strong right now, but then a part of me was like, Lance have to win, because Lance have lost literally every single big match he's been. I was like, if he just keeps losing big matches, soon he's just going to be buried for good. I mean, he lost literally every single big match he had. So, and this is Texas. So they had this Texas style match, which is a what is it? I've already forgotten what the match is called, but how to win is that you have to knock the person out, and if they can't get up by the count of 10, you win. So this was basically no disqualification match either. It was kind of brutal, especially with the fork in each other's faces. But yeah, so at the end you had Jon Moxley. He sets up 2 tables. Again, if you watch Wrestle Kingdom when they fought before, this is how Moxley won. But he set up 2 tables and he put the barbed wire on top of the tables. He was trying to do a paragonship onto the tables with Lance, but Lance got out of that and he ended up throwing Jon Moxley into the table, and the ref counts to 10, and Lance Archer is your new USA champion. So woohoo! So that was very cool. Right at the end, throughout the show, you saw Hikuleo in the crowd. Hikuleo is part of the Bullet Club, and at the end he comes up and he tells, you know, basically looks at Lance and challenge him for the title. So that's going to be your match next week, which is Lance Archer versus Hikuleo, which is very cool. Even though that was like a second that Hikuleo was on, you know, if you guys watch Impact, you already know Bullet Club is in Impact. This is, you know, a little taste of, hopefully we're going to have more Bullet Club on AEW, and especially with me as my dream booking, Hikuleo gets on. Maybe we're going to see God in the future too. so that's what I'm hoping for that. People online are saying that Lance is going to lose it to Hikuleo next week. I'm like, that would be horrible. Oh man, I would feel so bad if Lance loses the belt so quickly. But again, wouldn't be surprised. I don't think he's going to lose it next week. My opinion is because that would be way too short, and that Hikuleo, I still feel, is like still very green. So I don't know he would get the title right away, but then I don't know, because you would think that New Japan, they probably want one of their own to get the title. But if anything, if Lance was going to lose it, it would probably be at Resurgence, New Japan's first show with crowds. So we'll see by then. But I'm really hoping Lance holds on to that a little bit longer, because he deserves some sort of championship run. He's been just losing so much. So there you go with the episodes, with my short recap and some of my thoughts. Just more thoughts. Next week they also announced on the card that Tony Khan is going to make a huge announcement. I don't know if that's a huge announcement regarding wrestlers, or he said a live announcement. I don't know. I didn't see that too well. But if he's going to make any sort of announcement, I don't know if it's going to be about this, but online, and you can see in my tweets because I'm crazy, there's been so many sources that are saying that, well, many sources saying that Daniel Bryan has signed to AEW. Again, I'm not gonna think of anything until I actually see it. So that's cool. And then right after that, there was many articles that were saying that CM Punk is thinking about wrestling again. So, you know, with those two stories literally back to back, you're thinking Daniel Bryan signed to AEW, which could mean that CM Punk is going to sign to AEW, because CM Punk said that he will not go back to wrestling unless he's in a good storyline or something like that. And, you know, and this. So, yeah, and me being the Chicagoan that I am, I just want to go to All Out and see CM Punk there. So, we'll just see about that. I will talk about more about that if when things develop more. So, but anyway, but you can read all that online, and I tweet about it like constantly. So, all right, thank you guys for watching. Hopefully this video hadn't been too long. I promise to do one about Impact and Slammiversary. So there you go. Thank you guys for watching. Follow me on Twitter, Shining Polaris. Want to see some cool Slammiversary clips? Follow me on TikTok, Shining Polaris AEW. And thank you again, guys, for watching. I would love to try to post more videos if I can. So thank you so much, guys, and I'll see you next time.